What's up, warrior? Welcome back to Daily Wisdom. We are in the middle of a 90-day growth campaign, and day by day, feeding you wisdom and principles, help you in your business and your life and everything. And today, I have a little bit of a check for us. It's Friday when I'm doing this live. It is Memorial Day weekend, so happy weekend. I hope you have a good one. Perfect time to reflect. And whenever we start, I don't know if you're like this, I always start a project with the greatest of intentions. Right? Who here loves starting new things? Like put a one below if you love starting new things. I love the aspect of starting. It's the entrepreneur in me. I like a new goal. I like a new direction. I like a new campaign. But if I'm to be real honest, starting does not pay well, but finishing does. So it's not the starting the new goal. It's not the starting of the new direction. It's not the starting of a campaign that does anything incredible or impactful for you, your family, the world. It's the finishing. Hello. So what do we need to do? We have to, today's topic is watch the feet and not the mouth. And I say this to myself, and I wonder if you'll be able to do this self-assessment as well too. Because how do we know if we're actually finishing? How do we know if we're actually growing towards our goals? What's the purpose of doing all these calls and doing all these videos and investing in ourselves? It's not just to feed our mind and sound really cool. It's not just to have a good time, which is great, of course, as well too. But isn't it in the transformed results in your business, in your life? Isn't it to be able to move closer to the things that we set out to be able to do? So 2 weeks into this 90-day growth campaign, here's the question. What has the feet been showing you? What have your actions been showing you about where you're going? What have your results been showing you about what's been happening? And I'm just preaching to myself today, because I can talk a good talk. What's up, Ty? Great to see you. I can talk about my goals all the time. I can talk about the intention to 10x the warrior movement, for example. I can talk about the intentions to hit this promotion that we have going on in the organization. I can talk about how fired up I am. The goal talking about is fun, isn't it? Goal starting is amazing. Everyone likes to start a new diet. Everyone likes to start a new campaign. But it's not the starting in something that pays, it's the finishing in something that does. And as we intend to start something, we have to make sure that in the meanwhile, that we are actually making steady changes of progress in our day-to-day lives. So let's reflect in the last 2 weeks I've been following on this growth campaign. Here's my question for me that I also pose to you as well too. In relation to the goal that you're going for, right? Put a 3 in the comments if you have a goal that you have in mind. You have something you want to be able to, you want to achieve something, you want to grow towards something, you have an income goal, business goal, whatever that it is, the target, right? In relation to that target, question, what have the results been? How have they changed since we started? Have you gotten new customers? Have you gotten new partners? Have you made more? Right? Like, what are the tangible results? Yeah. And we have to take a look at that. Now, if you grew, fantastic. Double down on that. If you had tangible results, fantastic. Good stuff. Keep on going. Slam on the gas. But if you have not had change in results in 2 weeks, or if it's not where you want it to be, this is not condemning, but it's warning, flashing lights. 2 weeks. If nothing changes, are you going to be okay with the pace at which you're growing? Because now we got to switch some things. So today I want to make sure that we can watch the feet and not just the mouth. We can talk a good game all the time. I'm good at talking now, I could make things sound real good. You know what I'm really good at? I'm really good at justifying why the results are not the way I want them to be, if I'm to be honest. It's real simple to say, well, it's summertime. Well, there's graduations. Well, we're doing things at the house right now. Well, look at me. I'm so busy. There's all these different things. Well, my prospect said this and they said to get back to me. Well, like how can you even manage all this, right? That's really easy to do. And it's true too. These are true facts. But in relation to my goal, is that serving me at all? In relation to my goal, is it helpful to give light to those realities? That's not changing anything, is it? So many different times I spend a lot of time justifying rather than spending the energy to clarify. Why not spend the same amount of time that we use to justify our lack of versus the energy to change? I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but at least I'm speaking to me on this one. But what's the thing to change? If you want a different result, watch your feet. What does that look like? Do an assessment today. In the course of one day, let's say I want to make more sales. Okay. How do you make more sales? Very simple. More people seeing your presentation. Period. That's all it is. That's how many people have seen your pitch, have seen your presentation. Okay, that is the true north right there. So if I want to change my results of how many customers, how much business I'm getting, then I have to change how many people am I actually exposing to my presentation. So every day, how do I expose more people? If it's not what I wanted it to be, you can ask this to yourself today. In this last day, in this last week, how many people have actually been looking at your business? And if you actually look at the numbers, it might be like the scale sometimes in the bathroom. You might not want to look at it, but the reality is not enough. Okay. So how do we change from not enough? Change the feet. So what do we change every day? Well, I take a look for me. I'm like, all right, I need to make sure my daily is actually changing. I need to make sure that I actually prioritize some time to do my income producing activity. I need to make sure that, yes, there's a lot of good things that I'm doing. There's a lot of things that I can plug into. You know, one of the biggest distractions we have today, personal development. It's too easy to get stuck into the YouTube land, isn't it? Of thinking that we're actually changing our lives by listening and reading and doing all this. The change doesn't happen just by reading. The change happens from doing. It says that faith comes from not just hearing. You got to do. You got to do. Transformation is a doing thing. It's the feet. It's not the mouth. Now, of course, change what it is that we're saying to ourselves. Change what it is that we're saying. It's better to speak positive than it is to speak negative. It's better to speak light on something good about your goals than it is to speak the opposite. But warrior, what's the change in the feet? What's the change in the action? What's the change that we can make today? So if I'm honest and I take a look at my schedule, I'm like, man, I got to tune things up. I got to change the input if I want the output different. So you have to get good at watching your own feet. You have to be really good at making sure that we don't believe in our own lie. But when you actually start to confront the truth, and when you actually start to look at your daily do, you will see a direct correlation to why your business is or isn't the way you want it to be. I grew up a chubby kid. All right. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm just born this way. I got big bones. That's just the way it is. My genetics suck. But one day I decided that I wanted to make a change. I said, no more. I want to get fit. So I looked at the input, and guess what? It was not a surprise why I was chubby. My diet was mainly processed food. I loved French fries and Big Macs back on the dollar menu days. I remember when Big Mac was on the dollar menu. Does it put a one if you remember in the comments if you remember those days? I remember I had 4 Big Macs in one sitting. Those are great. I had rice left and right, I had cereal all day. I never exercised, like I loved my sweets, I loved my chocolate. And I said, so it's not that I'm just big boned. It's because my lifestyle, my daily habits, my daily methods of operation are obviously not lining up. So you know what I did? I cut out rice. You know what I did? I cut out the sweets. You know what I did? I started exercising some. And lo and behold, the miracle process of losing weight started to happen. I'm like, wow, it's not just genetics. That was a justification for why I did not want to make that change. What are we justifying in our business? What are we blaming on genetics about, so to speak? And isn't it time to let go of that? And isn't it time to confront the reality of something? And when I did that, everything changed for me. I went to my mentor in business. I said, this thing don't work. People say no, and it's so hard, and blah, 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 blah. And he just gave it to me straight. He's like, no, you're just not showing enough people your presentation. I'm like, really? That's it? And he just kept on the primary thing. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to try it and let's see if it works. And lo and behold, guess what? You show 10 presentations, one person gets started. Wow. It's logical. Business is logical. We're emotional, though, aren't we? So I had to change my feet. I had to change my actions. And what's great is this. It's actually not as much energy as what you were spending before, because we're spending the energy anyway, aren't we? It's just that typically we're spending the energy on the wrong things that aren't leading us to the results that we want versus the real things that actually lead us to results that we do want. So, week 2, assess. What must change in our feet? What must change in our actions? What must change in our mindset so that our results will actually go in the direction that we want it to move in? And stop just having lip service towards what it is that we say we want. Let's become finishers and not just starters in things. So with that, hope that was a good reflection. My goal here in Daily Wisdom is in this 90 days to help you grow. If this encouraged you at all, maybe convicted you at all, but you at all, and you have an idea of what it is that you want to change and what you need to change today, let's end Friday well, change today, comment me below, and let's end this day strong. I got a day full of prospect calls. My calendar is full with getting in front of the prospect. That's what I'm doing today. So other than that, everybody, have a great Friday. Our Warriors, we'll see you on our Saturday tomorrow. I got a really important one for you. And if you're not in the Warrior movement, but you like this type of stuff, let's chat. We'd love to be able to help you. Awesome. All right, everybody. Hey, have a great one. We'll talk soon. Warrior out.